Good morning. This is Bill from out of Europa, Naples, and the humidity is back. We had a little reprieve from it. You know, we had a few days of pretty, I won't call it mild weather because the sun was enough to bake the skin off your face. But the humidity was not in the air, and even though you really want to punch someone who tells you it's not the heat, it's the humidity, we all secretly know that it really is. I mean, the heat's bad enough, but when you add 100% humidity, it just makes it miserable. Dripping, awful, you just want to get out, you want to get away, you want to get anywhere, and that's where we're at right now. So as I do this video, I'm sure to be dripping, which just absolutely sucks, but what are you going to do? I'm going to go forward. We're also dealing with the waning days of construction there next door at the Ultimate Garages. They're doing the paint now, so I had to move all the cars, bunch them up in the back, which has driven me absolutely nuts. If there's anything I hate, well, you know what? There's a lot of stuff I hate, so probably better to not go into it. What I will do is get into this. This is a 2008, double check that, it is, Jaguar XJ Vanden Plas, Vanden Plas, whatever you want to call it. It is a big, beautiful British cat. I almost said German, and it is an incredible machine. In many ways, this was the last of the classically styled Jaguars. You know, the four round lamps at the front, trailing into the hood, the long, sleek bodywork, you know, with the curvature. After this, Jaguar departed from making cars that didn't just give styling cues to the past, but almost truly, you know, harkened back in a 80% kind of way to stuff they were making, you know, more than half a century ago. Anyway, 2008, it's the X358, again, the final incarnation of, more or less the XJ40. That was the car that came out in 1988, you know, almost 30 years ago. And while this doesn't really share that much with that, it does share a very commonality theme in terms of styling and poise. But they did make this thing longer. They made the belt line taller, the greenhouse a little bit lower. And even though it is a classically styled Jaguar, which historically has meant the interiors are cramped, this one is not. It's actually quite roomy. It's also not just the longest Jaguar that was ever built. It was longer than anything else in its class. That means the S-Class, the 7 Series, this car was longer. And it definitely offered an alternative to those cars in a way that I think is gorgeous. Now, the styling of this last generation is pretty, I don't know, call it controversial. A lot of people say that it has an M3 front bumper. Like, literally, like they just took a bumper off an M3 and bolted it on here. And yeah, you know, you can see that, definitely. There's no question that it sort of has that appearance. But I think it does serve to make the car look very, very aggressive, and maybe even was a bit of an old, you know, flip of the bird to the British. The styling of this particular Vanden Plas is sinister. Something about the way the black and the chrome comes together in this thing. Man, when this thing pulls up somewhere, it just looks like somebody's going to get out in a very fine, tailored British suit and machine gun you to death. It just has that incredible gangster look to it, while not looking cheesy like some of the gangster cars can. I mean, you could still pull up to the Ritz-Carlton in this thing and look like $1 million, but the valet is probably going to be a little afraid of you. You can see the length of that back door is astounding. The 5 inches that these long wheelbase cars got stretched went almost entirely to the backseat passengers. So it is a true limousine in the sense of, you know, maybe meant to be chauffeured, and in many European countries it might be. Again, the chrome accents, all the updates, it's so unmistakably Jaguar, and I just love looking at it. I mean, you know, in a world of Teutonic sedans, these big, beefy German things that go down the road, and I love them, don't get me wrong. I mean, give me an S-Class any day of the week. But the Jag is different, and that's just something that I really like. It stands out, it's elegant, you know, very poised. It doesn't really do anything better than anybody else, except maybe in terms of cosmetics. But it does it enough, and it is an all-around pretty fun car. Anyway, let's get into it. So you can see, again, the 4-round lamps up front. That's an absolute classic Jaguar styling cue. The big lower front bumper with the intake and the fog lamps, very much looking like an XJR, the supercharged version, which this isn't. You see it as the bonnet leaper, we'll call it that, even though it revolts me to use the term bonnet. I know, look, boot bonnet, it's fine, but on the side of the shore, it's a hood and a trunk, for God's sake. Anyway, it has the bonnet leaper. One thing that I've always liked about these is they're breakaway now. At a certain point, they had to do that in England because they were disemboweling pedestrians. And again, that's just not something you want. I mean, all of a sudden, you've got this guy bleeding all over your car. You're paying for the detail. You never really get it all out. Every time you look at it, you think of it. So thank God they did that and have really helped to save the cars from from too much trouble. I love the beautiful mesh grille that's split in the middle with that angry cat coming at you. The growler looks very cool. The mesh grille is just beautiful. You see it's duplicated there in the bottom. These are, high-intensity xenon lamps. They've got nice fog lamps down low, and it just has a very lovely ride height, this car. They also added these, what they call power vents, which are, I call them fake vents, that go in the back of the fenders there. They came over from the XK lineup, and they look good on the car. There's no question. They kind of added a sort of certain something to break up the long expanse of paint that would otherwise be going all the way down the side of this incredibly long car. But whether you like them or not is up to you. Also, these rather gorgeous 19-inch chrome wheels holding good-sized brake discs behind them. They're in great shape. They look terrific, and they do add to the impact of this car, particularly when mated to those chrome rear-view mirrors, side view mirrors, the chrome door handles, the chrome around the windows, the chrome leaper. This car has a very adequate amount of chrome it's getting pretty close to the in-your-face thing, but it's not there yet. They also give you a different lower rocker panel down there, nice, different bumper treatment. You get this hint of a spoiler at the back, just a residue of a spoiler to let you know that there's a little sport to this car. Love the big Vanden Plas badging. You see the parking sensors there, the bumper stuff. It's got the little beepers there, the big twice pipes at the bottom. Nice little chrome strip here that says Jag. May as well get in the trunk while we're here. Somewhere there's a release. I'll eventually find it. Maybe not. Maybe I won't find it. Maybe I'll have to bend down and look again. There it is. I think they'd give that more tactile feel to it. You do get a beautifully finished trunk in a Jaguar. Here you see those lamb's wool floor mats. Makes you want to take off your shoes and socks and just bury your toes in them. If I get under here, we're going to find a spot my detailer didn't bother to clean. That's where the rear battery, or the only battery is, which is good for weight, and a full-sized matching chrome spare tire, which is very, very nice stuff indeed. It's an adequate sized trunk. It's not enormous, but it's good enough for the class, and very, very nicely finished. They also don't bother making it power, which other than the little suck down thing at the end, which I think is fine. I still feel like a powered trunk is really silly. Look under the hood. So it was a big deal when these cars went to the V8. I want to say that was in '98 or thereabouts. God, no, I'm not able to get under the hood. For the love of God, why does everything have to be hard for me? Okay, everything mint and lovely under this one-owner Naples car. So, it's never had salty stuff up north. If you look at, like, the nuts and bolts, man, no watery corrosion on those things. They look perfect. You also see it has sensors going to them, much like the Mercedes system. We'll get into that in a second. But this is a 4.2-liter aluminum V8, puts out a little more than 300 horsepower. Torquey, nice. You could almost say it was a little bit underpowered for its class, with the exception that basically this entire car is made out of aluminum. I mean, everything from the chassis supports upward, the entire body of this car, aluminum, the entire monocoque. I like saying that. The entire monocoque is aluminum. It's built like a Boeing, this thing. It's got, aluminum rivets and, you know, adhesives and whatnot, very much the way a 777 would. So incredibly light car, and as a result, this engine becomes more than adequate for it. So works very well, made it to a great 6-speed automatic. We'll get into the shifting of that inside, but anyway, everything nice and lovely under there, understated, very, very pretty. Angry cat looking at you. Open up this enormous back door and reveal one of the things that just makes me love Jaguars, and that is the materials, the fit and finish, the trim, the styling. This is anything but Teutonic, anything but German. I mean, this is like some sort of, you know, British men's club where you go in with your pipe and your sideburns and give deep belly laughs talking about, you know, your travels to India. Ha ha ha. It just looks like a fantastic place to sit, and it is. And because it's the stretched version, you can see it's got tons of legroom there for your Canadians. They're going to be thrilled in the back of this thing. Being a Vanden Plas, you also get this rather lovely piping in the seats, contrasting. You get these great little trays if you want to, you know, have a sandwich in comfort. You get all these controls back here for your heated seats and your 4-zone air conditioning. It does have the side and rear sunscreens, all very nice stuff. And anyone who complains in the back seat of this car is an absolute moron, and you should eject them from your life right away. This is a very nice place to be. You also do get a nice little center armrest here with a place to put your pens and doilies and wine glasses and whatever else. No room for a PPK, so I don't know if this pops up or something. We got one underneath, but man, you're going to be hurting if you need to have a 9mm back here. Maybe you could tuck one in this pocket down in here. And I guess you just let the chauffeur do it. All right, we'll have a look up front. So again, absolutely gorgeous, and the Vanden Plas does add to that. Instead of the traditional burl, you get this Peruvian boxwood, which is absolutely gorgeous. The incredible stitched leather everywhere, the contrasts, the chrome with the wood, with the leather. You know, this is an elegance that you just don't get in the German cars, at least not back when this was built in 08. You know, they just didn't have this level of opulence, and that was something that, again, separated Jag and made people gravitate towards them who wanted to be a little bit different. Let's get in and fire it up. Seatbelt on. I mean, look at the oh shit handle here. Stitched leather with chrome. I mean, just a beautiful and elegant little touch on the car. Oh, for the love of God. All right, let's fire it up. Okay, comes to life with a rather beautiful growl, very, very nice. Anybody who can look down that long hood with the power hump in the middle and the leaper on the end and not feel a little bit special, again, he's that moron that you need to eject from your life, because you just feel like $1 million driving this thing. You've got this beautiful wood and leather steering wheel. Get our e-brake off here. You know, that's kind of annoying, I'll give you that much. You've got a car that's an automatic. You fire it up every time the brake, the emergency brake defaults to being on. I don't want it on. And it's electric. Who knows if that's going to keep working? So you have to put the foot on the brake, tap it down, and off it goes. It just sounds like one of those nanny features that I hate. Anyway, you've got over here your folding mirrors, your power windows, your memory seat controls. This is all your headlight and trip odometer stuff, fog light, whatnot. You got your stalks for your turn signals and automatic headlights and more trip control functions. Over here, your wipers and, you know, everything nice. You've got this angry Jaguar growler. Actually, he looks a little more friendly than the last Jag I did. They've toned him down a little so you don't get friggin' scared when you're sitting in the driver's seat. You got all your radio and Bluetooth controls in this beautifully stitched leather steering wheel, again with the beautiful wood trim. I mean, oh my God, is that nice. This very high dash in this car as well, which is unusual. You know, the whole car feels a bit tall, like they've I shouldn't say tall, but it feels like they've really raised the belt line to give you that safety feeling that people like of having high door frames and whatnot. So as a result, the windows are kind of short, but you do feel like you're encapsulated in a big, you know, rolling bank vault, even if it is all made out of very strong and lightweight aluminum. Anyway, you've got this beautiful wood inlay in the dash, gorgeous, nice stuff. This incredibly lovely stitched leather around the center console. This technology was even a bit dated when this car came out. Although, here's what it does have going for it, particularly for older guys like me, is it's really easy to use. Much easier to use than the sort of point and click mouse style stuff you get in the Lexus or the, you know, iDrive with the big knob that you move around. This is a very simple button and touch screen operated menu. So if I want to go to audio and listen to Frank Sinatra, and let's see, we got 70s on this is where unsubscribe, no good. But anyway, it's touch screen. It's nice. It's easy. You can hook up your Bluetooth there. You can get into your climate controls, all very lovely. Hit your AC on, off. It's a nice, easy technology to use, and I like it quite a bit. You also have your hot seats, cool seats here. That's your automatic speed limiter. In Britain, they have those crazy camera speeding ticket things, so you don't, you know, you can set this thing so it'll warn you if you go over a certain speed. Very nice feature. Let me go back into climate because I'm starting to fog up the windshield, so I'll just turn the damn thing off for a minute, then I'll just suffer in here. Anyway, you've got, what do we have? The speed limiter, the hazards, the door locks, the heated and cooled seats for the other side, all very nice stuff. You've got your little display screen there for the climate control, your in-dash CD, very nice, more beautiful wood. You've got Jaguar's classic J shifter, which, you know, is an historical Jaguar Q, and it sort of meant to make an automatic feel more sporty, which it really doesn't. Maybe it did 30 or 40 years ago, but anymore it's just dumb. You'd be way better off having that Tiptronic. Oh God, I'm putting the air back on. It's already humid in here. The hell with the foggy windshield. Anyway, it you know, those bang-to-bang, side-to-side things, or the paddles on the wheel, feel a lot sportier than a J shifter, but it does, again, harken back to old school Jag. But I tell you what, this is such a good transmission. Leave it in drive and just let your right foot, you know, tell the car what gear you want to be in, because that is a very intuitive transmission that listens to you and does well. You got a button release glove box, which, I don't know, I've always felt those are a bit silly. Just give me a handle. You got some cup holders here for your Perrier or tea. Again, no room at all for a 9mm. You're not getting one in there, no way. I don't know what you get in there at all. A pen, maybe, a short pen. The hell? What's all that? I don't know. I don't think you can get under there either, so storage is a little bit crappy. You do have a little bucket here where you could put a hand grenade, and I suppose you could have a loose revolver over there, but up top you've got, what, a self-dimming mirror. You've got a nice little overhead compartment with a place for your sunglasses and more of that beautiful wood. You got the prerequisite analog clock that every luxury car has to have. And you have really nice variable assist steering. So for a big lug of a car, it really doesn't feel like one. You know, it's not the quietest car in its class, but it's certainly quiet enough. I tell you, man, I just love this generation, and it's such a bargain. Jaguar so unfairly suffers from a past reputation, almost the way that Mercedes unfairly benefits from a past reputation. They have been building pretty damn good, reliable cars for a while now. I know people are, oh, reliable. Yeah, we get it. You know, Jags are historically not meant to be reliable, but at a certain point when everyone started buying their electronics off the shelves, their transmissions off the shelves, their engine management off the shelves, pretty much every luxury car and many other cars became as reliable as anyone else's. They're all using the same damn systems. Listen to that. You got this beautiful steady pull through the rev band, absolutely lovely. Again, not enough to fling you back in the seat, but certainly enough to know that you're in a big, you know, substantial Q-ship sedan. You know, it gives you what you need in that department. They did make the seats in these X358s more comfy, more, you know, supportive, very nice. The ride, lovely. The steering, precise. Jaguar, of course, has a sporting reputation, you know, for many, many decades, and in their long and incredible history. They're thought to be sports cars, certainly in England, and every one of them has to sort of pay heed to that. So this car feels so nice and nimble and lovely for a big sedan, in a way that Mercedes, you know, probably handles better than Mercedes, but I don't know, that's the only way I could explain it. Even if the Mercedes has better numbers, the Jaguar feels more sporty in terms of the way you can throw it around and, you know, how it responds to the driving. It has this cat system for the suspension. Ha ha ha, cats, get it? Ha ha ha. Anyway, it works a lot like Mercedes ABC Sport. It pumps up the air shocks front and rear to keep the car level. Works very, very nice. A lot of technology in this car, but they don't put it in your face. They just let it be behind the scenes doing what it's supposed to do, and that's a nice way to have it. So anyway, there it is. This really is a car that I could see myself owning and driving and loving on. This is a 2008 Jaguar XJ Vanden Plas. It's finished in black outside, cream beige Connolly hides inside, and just absolutely gorgeous. The last Jaguar. I mean, I know the new ones are great and they're fine and they look nice, but, you know, this is truly the last XJ that just had that, you know, thing where it's going to pull up to Buckingham Palace and the Queen's going to saunter into it, or Princess Diana's going to put those lovely legs one over the other into the back. I mean, this is just elegance. If you have an interest, give us a call, 239-298-8000, on the web at aenaples.com. I'm going to go start the day, get ready to crab it, everybody, and have a nice cup of coffee, and we will see you with the next one. Take care.